to the Executive Moms Show. This show is for working women to inspire you for your busy work week ahead. Every episode, we're going to cover a career topic, and then we will talk about an amazing thing that every working mom needs. Today's topic is how to be more valuable at work. It is simple. I have one tip, just one tip for you today. It is so simple, but it is extremely hard, and you all should try it. I highly recommend trying this. And the tip is actively listen. Yeah. What? What'd you say? What'd she say? Yeah. Set down, your lipstick and you're multitasking. You're probably driving, whatever you're doing. Actively listen. And I'm going to explain why this will make you a more valuable coworker and colleague at your job. It feels so good to be listened to. And it's rare. It's so rare. The only one who listens to me is my mom. I call her all the time because she will listen to me, right? Be that person for your coworker. So give this a try. I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it. Sounds really easy. It's not. So next meeting you're in, give this a go. Listen, really listen to what they're saying. And what is natural and going to happen is you're going to bird walk. You're going to be in that meeting listening, and then you're going to notice your nails. Oh my gosh, I need to paint my nails. Where is my Dior nail polish that I love? It's missing. I wonder if my daughter took it because she tends to take my nail polishes and then she eats them or chews them or does something weird. Gosh, does Alexa have a problem? Should I look into that? Look at what's happened. Okay, I am now worrying about my daughter and I'm not listening to what's happening in the meeting. I missed a good minute, right? I'm calling it bird walking. I don't know if that's the term, but that's what comes to mind for me. So this will happen because it's so natural. It's so natural. It's so human. Catch yourself doing it and then go back, bird walking. And then if you have to write something down, like Alexa, what's her problem? Who knows? Go ahead and write it down. If it's just a bird walking thing and you feel like you do need to remember it, write it down, but go right back to listening. Also, if you have a question for the speaker, paper and notes is just so great to have. It's really helpful because you can be actively listening and you can jot things down. When I'm in the office, it's hard for me to carry, notepad and my laptop and my water. I always have some drink with me. So I tend to maybe I'll jot down a note in a Google Doc. But if you are going to take notes, which does help with active listening, taking notes is not a bad thing. But make it abundantly clear to everyone that you are taking notes, because it can look like you're chatting on Facebook or you're doing some instant message and you're for sure not actively listening. And it's so rude to the presenter. I get my feelings hurt. When I'm speaking and people are not paying attention, it's a blow to my ego. And sometimes I will anyway, I need to get my cool, but I will sometimes look at them a lot if I notice someone is on their phone. It's so rude. So put the phone down. That is the next step to do. Put the phone down and close the laptop unless you're taking notes or unless you're looking at a presentation. Give them your full attention. This is so hard because we've gotten so spoiled with our attention span. We can only watch something for 2 minutes and we need constant stimulation. This is hard. It's really hard. Just understand that you're in the meeting for a purpose. If you don't know what that purpose is, you should not be in that meeting. Don't go to meetings where you don't know why you're there. That's a complete waste of time. You're there, you're in the meeting, actively listen. You got a question, you write down your question and you wait till it's question time. They might answer your question. Oh my gosh, the worst thing that happens is when people ask a question about what they just said. They just said it. That happens at least once a day. At least once a day. Someone wasn't paying attention and they asked a bad question. Literally the person just explained that. This has happened to me before, so what I do is, as a little caveat, if I thought I was listening and I really need to know the answer to this question, I will caveat and say, I am so sorry if I missed it. I've been listening and I'm pretty sure I didn't hear the answer to blah, 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 blah. Do you mind explaining that again? I use the word again because they might have explained it in different terms and I didn't catch on to it. It just is kind of a nice little caveat in case they did say it and you actually indeed were thinking about your daughter and her nail polish issues. Okay, so that's the next tip there. The best thing, if you're in a one-on-one or even a smaller get-together, you can repeat what the person has said to ensure you understand. Repeat it back succinctly, right? You don't need to go on, and then ask, did I get this right? Especially if it's a difficult situation where there's multiple things involved, you can just repeat it back to them. It gets everyone on the same page. It's a very good tool. I use this one all the time. And if you get in a situation, this is like a little tip in case it is related to active listening. If you're really trying to understand what someone's saying, sometimes people don't have their thoughts in order. Some people think out loud. Some people like to think in their mind first, and then they get their thoughts together and then they share. We work with all kinds of different people, so I try to adjust my style to be helpful to them. So if you just kind of are a little stuck or you're not sure exactly what to say, you can always say, tell me more. Tell me more. Or if you're really trying to point them towards the right direction, you can say, what's the outcome we're looking for regarding the situation? That's a really great one. Outcome is like big picture thinking, and we should always be focused on the outcome that we want. Or you can say, oh, and then what? Then what happened? Or what have you tried? Those type of what questions are really good. Avoid the why questions. Why questions? It's important to know why, but when you ask someone why, it's a little, what's the word? Dismissive? Is it dismissive? I'm not sure. It's like, well, why are you doing that? It's kind of like, well, why are you stupid? It's not nice. And I see it happen a lot because it's a common question. You want to know why? Ask it in a better way. Ask, can you share more context on this outcome or how we got here? Can you share a little bit more or help me understand what the goal is or the purpose? You can say purpose. When you just say like, well, why? Again, it's a good question. It's a fair question, but you're not going to get a good answer. You're going to get a defensive response. The response to that will be defensive because it does put people on the defensive of like, well, why? It's like, well, why are you stupid for thinking about this? Period. It's not good. It doesn't make people feel good. You have to remember, think about how you're making people feel. They're not going to remember what you said. They won't even remember what you did probably, but they will remember how you made them feel. So let's watch those why questions and really listen to your colleagues. Okay, another tip related to this active listening. Do not switch the topic to you. This is so hard. Oh my gosh, I struggle with this all the time. And my husband gives me feedback on this all the time, which I appreciate from him. If someone is sharing an issue with you, oh my gosh, this happened to me, my daughter, blah, blah, whatever their situation is, your response should not be, oh my gosh, that happened to me too. This one time at band camp, and you're going on about band camp, and they wanted to talk about their problem. Now you're going on to your problem. I believe people do this because they want to be relatable. Like, oh, I want to let them know. I want to make them feel better, like they're not alone. I'm in it with them. But you've actually switched the conversation now to band camp. They don't care about band camp. No, they care about their issue that they brought up with you, hoping to hear you. And also, it is dismissive. It is dismissive. I had a situation where I'm just going to share. I had a little bit of a health scare. I'm totally fine. Everything's good. But I shared it with someone who I trusted at work because I was going to have surgery for it. And she immediately went into her health problems, and they sounded worse than mine, actually. And I think she was trying to console me and make me feel better, but really was belittling. And then we spent the rest of the time talking about her health issues. And, selfishly, I wanted to talk about mine. It didn't help me. It made me feel kind of dismissed, or it's almost like it becomes this competition of like, who has it worse? So don't do that. It is so hard to not do this, but really be aware. People are not aware of this. This happens on a daily basis probably. So don't be that person. Be the colleague who sticks with their story. Ooh, I did an experiment once. This was a blast. I wanted to experiment with this, and I thought I was going to a wedding, and in my head, I was like, I am going to actively listen to someone. I'm just going to pick some lucky gent or a woman. I didn't care whoever was going to be sitting next to me at the dinner is who I did it with. And my goal was to keep the attention focused on them the whole entire time. Actively listen and keep the attention 100% on them. And if they asked me, this is where I got really sneaky. If they asked me a question about myself, I was going to find a way to turn it back to them and not answer the question. And I thought, I wonder if it's going to be super awkward and they're going to notice. That was my goal. Like, is this awkward and weird? Let me tell you what happened. It was so shocking to me. It ended up being a man who happened to be a show producer. And first of all, he was just fascinating. But I never would have known this if I didn't really pepper him with questions, because he didn't open up right away with what he does for work and all of those things. He worked on the show. It was House Hunters. I think it was House Hunters. It was one that I definitely had seen multiple times. So I was like so excited about speaking to him. And again, I didn't get this information right away. What was so interesting is he became enamored with me. He found me later and wanted to talk to me more about himself. But I was doing it on purpose. So nothing bad on him. It's just, we love to talk about ourselves. And when someone is interested in us, we are so interested in them. And I became his favorite person at that wedding. And I guarantee you, he probably remembers me because we had such a good and deep conversation. But I did not reveal one thing about myself. Now, in a normal circumstance, I probably would be a little bit more giving. I'm always doing these like psychology experiments when I go to social events because I'm just so curious to how people react and respond. And it was just astonishing. I mean, he was following me around, not in an inappropriate way. I'm married. He knew I was married, but he just thought I was the most interesting person that he had ever met. And it was because I was actively listening to him and kept the focus on him. And it was fun. It was really fun for me. Luckily, he was extremely interesting. If I, met someone else who wasn't that interesting, I bet you maybe they would be interesting. I bet you if you focus enough, you can get people out of their shell because we're all interesting and very smart and unique. So that was a really fun experiment. I highly recommend you try that. So the thing that every woman needs is lovely earrings on your beautiful ears so that you can listen up. And it's a good reminder to listen up and actively listen to the people in your life and your colleagues. So here's what we've got here. These are actual diamond earrings. My husband gave me these for my birthday. He is the best gift giver. You don't need diamond earrings. I'm not recommending diamond earrings. In fact, I'm not even going to link these below because you do not need these. Look at these. These are just as sparkly as my real diamonds. And these were $12. I bought these. Let me see if we can focus here. I don't know if you can see how sparkly, but these are actually more sparkly and they're bigger, but whatever, than my diamond earrings. I found these with my daughter. She's really obsessed with Claire's right now. And I picked these up for myself. These are a must have. Have really classic, beautiful earrings. It just kind of helps. I always go with two. So I don't do the necklace. I don't do the whole, you don't want to overdo it. So I like simple earrings. And if I'm going to wear rings and maybe 3 is the magic number, just have 3 items. This doesn't count. I'm not counting this. This adds a little bit of, edge. I like, I've had this for a while. These are just actually earrings from Nordstrom's. They're normal earrings that you can wear down here, but I just put mine up there. I will link those below as well. I hope this was helpful and you got some value out of this. Go actively listen to the people and make it better at work. All right. Have a lovely day. See you next time.